Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the front and back post crochet stitch. This is a really good stitch if you need to do any kind of ribbing. It's perfect for collars. It's technically a cable stitch and you can do this stitch with just about anything. It could be single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I am going to do the double crochet. I'm also going to assume that you know how to do double crochets. If you do not and you need additional stitch support, I will have links down in the description below for tutorials on how to do that. Otherwise, let's get started. All right, for our foundation chain, you can have any multiple plus 2. I say plus 2 because that first 2 chains that you're going to skip is actually going to count as our first double crochet. We are going to start with the 3rd chain from the hook. Now remember that loop on your hook never counts as a stitch. So we're going to skip this one and then we'll count down 1, 2, 3, and then that 3rd chain, we're going to do a double crochet. And in the stitch next to that, we're going to do another double crochet. Continue putting double crochets in each chain until you get to the end of the row, and then we can start on row number 1. Okay, for row 1, this is actually where we start doing our post work. First, we need to chain 2 and turn. And this chain 2 is going to count as our first double crochet. However, we are not going to work with that first stitch that's right below our chain 2. So that double crochet right below that, we're not going to work into that stitch. So just make sure that we're on the same page here. This is the stitch I'm talking about. We're going to skip this stitch, and I'm going to talk more about that here pretty soon. For the time being, we're going to work in between those. So where I inserted my hook, that is next to the post. So right there is the actual body of your double crochet. So when we say post, that's what we're talking about. So I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to insert my hook in between that first double crochet and the second one. I'm going to bring it back behind that stitch, yarn over, pull through, and at this point I can just finish the stitch off like a regular double crochet. That is a front post double crochet. So the front of our hook was at the front of our work. Now we're going to do a back post double crochet, which means we need to put our hook in the back side of our hook. Same principle, yarn over, go around the back from right to left. So that post is across your hook, but you're on the back side of your work. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then just finish it out like a regular double crochet. That is a back post double crochet. All right, so let me show you again. We're going to do a front post double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook right to left around the body of that post. So it's on the front side of your work. Yarn over and then finish it off like a regular double crochet. Now again with the back post double crochet. So yarn over and going to the back side of your work. There's the front. There's the back. Insert your hook in between those posts from right to left, and then back through the back side of your work again so you can see that post is across my hook here. I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop, and then just finish it off like a regular double crochet. Okay, I'm going to show you one more time for each of these just to make sure you understand it. So front post, you're going to make sure that your hook is at the very front of your work. For a back post, you're going to take your hook to the back side of your work, bring it up through the front, right to left, then through the back, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then finish it off like a regular double crochet. All right, just finish that row until you have 2 stitches left, and then I'm going to show you how to finish off this row and move on to row 2. All right, so I have 2 stitches left. I have the post, and then I have that chain 2 that we skipped at the very beginning. At this point, I've gone back and forth with the front post, back post. I should end on a front post because I started on a front post, but I don't want to do a post stitch into that chain space, just that double crochet right here. So I'm going to work this front post double crochet. Now I have that chain 2 and I am going to work a stitch into it. You could do double crochet here. You could do half double crochet here. Just follow along with whatever pattern that you're following along with. I did a half double crochet. I'm going to chain 2 and turn. And because I did do a half double crochet on my to end row 1, for row 2, I'm going to do another half double crochet into that stitch because it's not a post stitch. We can't work into that post. So that's the reason for this extra stitch. Our stitch count is still correct. It's just a different stitch and not a post stitch. So at this point, all of my front posts have become back posts. All of my back posts have become front posts. So I'm just going to do the exact opposite of what I did on the previous row. So this row is going to start with a back post double crochet because I ended with a front post. So I'm just going to work that back post double crochet. And it is the same exact principle as what we had done on the previous row. So we're going to make sure our hook is on the back side. We go around that post. And on the front side, you work the front side of it and work around that post from the previous row. It is really that simple. And once you get going on this, once you kind of get used to it, it actually works up really, really quick. In fact, I have an easier time working this stitch if I can crochet in real time as opposed to slowing down for the video. Okay, so at this point, you're just going to continue to alternate the front and back post crochets. Again, you're going to end on a back post because you started on a back post. And then when you get to that chain 2 space from the row below, work your half double crochet or double crochet, whatever your pattern says to do. And that's it. That's all there is for me today, folks. This is actually really easy once you get the hang of it. If you missed anything, feel free to go back and rewatch. I will have a link down in the description below for written instructions in the Ruby Grace library for this stitch, as well as links to any patterns featuring this stitch in the Ruby Grace shop. Thanks so much for stopping by. Love your face.